When we first found out Violet was deaf, a lot of questions run through her head.
I really didn't want to be deaf. I belonged to the hearing world. My friends were in the hearing world, and that's where I wanted to be.
We know that a typical child that graduates from a deaf high school that uses sign language for communication graduates with a 4th grade reading level. Well, there aren't many jobs that you can take with a 4th grade reading level.
You have this child and you have all these dreams for her, and you think, these dreams should I even be having them anymore? Am I wrong to even be thinking about them?
My father had that type of deafness, and as a young man he was a musician, and he actually had to quit.
In 1985, cutting-edge technologies were being developed to address deafness. That same year, Dr. Carl Horn arrived in New Mexico. Aware of the technological advancements and having been deeply moved by his own father's experience, he developed a deep conviction that people with hearing loss can develop the ability to speak and listen with the right mix of oral education and technologies such as hearing aids and cochlear implants. In 1987, he founded Presbyterian Ear Institute to pursue the mission to help overcome the challenges of hearing loss.
I remember this young, highly trained physician showing up in Albuquerque with a vision, and his vision was to deliver to this community services that did not exist.
So they asked how much it would cost to start a pediatric implant program, and I said, and I had no idea. So I made up a number. I said, well, $100,000, and no one asked any more questions. And so I thought, well, I guess that's that. And about a week later, I received a call from the foundation. They said, well, we have your $100,000. And I thought, oh, geez, now I have no idea how to start a program.
It did start from very, very humble beginnings. One room in the basement of the hospital.
As Dr. Horn expected, cochlear implants were giving many patients the ability to hear. What he did not anticipate was just how many challenges would be associated with helping people to listen and speak.
Early on, we thought if we just put the device in and talk to the children, that they would learn to talk as well, but it didn't work that way.
We recognized early on that if we identified children at 3 or 4 years of age, it was typically too late to serve those kids. And it was actually very sad, because you would see these kiddos, their language delays were so delayed that we couldn't catch them up at that point. And so other programs evolved as a result of that.
It was becoming clear that the Ear Institute was going to have to provide much more than just surgery. More research needed to be conducted, and clients were going to require a more extensive diagnostic and educational program. All of this meant we were going to have to significantly expand our scope and could only succeed by enlisting the support of others.
There were many sleepless nights worrying about finances, because we've never turned a child away because of their ability to pay.
New Mexico is a very rural and a very poor state. And what we do is very expensive. The surgery is expensive, and educating these children is expensive. And there's not state money and there's not federal money to do this.
Fortunately, there were many wonderful people willing to become part of our mission and to provide their expertise, their time, and their financial support.
You're one of the very few facilities around the country that we've actually made an investment in to build a school.
I first met Carl in the early 90s. He was touring around the country to look at schools for deaf children that were teaching deaf children to talk. He was the one that was doing the surgery, and he thought that was the hard part, and the really hard part was teaching deaf kids to talk.
In 1995, we decided to take Carl Horn to India to develop the first program in Manipal, India. Now there are, I think, about 7 cities in India do the cochlear implant.
Dr. Horn's original vision led him through uncharted territory. Today, 20 years later, Presbyterian Ear Institute consists of a unique group of professionals who have touched the lives of thousands of New Mexicans. And to better serve our clients, in 2004, we moved to our current state-of-the-art facility.
20 years doesn't just happen. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that has gone along with it. And we've had our rough times of finding space and finding funding. But what's always kept us going are the kids.
I love Grandma.
Who's your boyfriend?
You.
The device has changed over the years and the programs have changed over the years, but the enthusiasm and all the goals that we've had from the beginning have pretty much remained unchanged.
It is not our growth, but its impact on the community of which we are most proud. Today, people with hearing loss are listening, learning, and speaking on a daily basis.
I'm seeing my children progress. I'm seeing them talk. I'm seeing them converse normally with the public, and what better thing could you do with a child?
I just like to hear rain coming down.
It is an absolute blessing, and to hear their voices and to hear them say, you know, I love you, Grandma.
The best part is watching the parents when the kids start saying their first words and everything becomes clear and they're so thankful.
I worked with a little boy at about 14 months. We were opening an egg and he said, "Open," and Mom and I both looked at each other and just tears came to our eyes, and we were just so excited that he said his first word right then and there.
We have children coming in being very shy and not understanding what's going on around themselves, and then 2 years later we have children who are being scolded in their dance class because they are the chatterboxes, not the other children.
To watch a 13-year-old girl come up to the podium and have a command over this dinner party and have her speak so eloquently, and if you didn't look real hard, you would never see the cochlear ear implant.
The people that we meet up here, the fellow parents and caregivers, have walked the same paths of silence for our children as we have. They've walked through moments of sadness and the excitement of the first words and the hope that the school gives just in the continual progress they make towards bettering their educational programs, and they continually strive for whatever's new and whatever's best.
Through our experience with Violet and her attending PI, you learn to really appreciate the importance of spoken language and sort of their subtleties towards the learning process.
Just this weekend she stood in the mirror and she said to me, "My teeth are coming out, Grandma. They're a little crooked, but they'll straighten out." And I'm like, that's a beautiful sentence, Ray. That is so good.
Because of the early intervention, he has been able to be on level with his peers at 2 years old.
She's going to dance class with normal hearing kids.
We can hold a phone up to him now, to grandparents that live far away.
Looking back on the last 20 years, the secret of our success becomes clear. First, there was Dr. Horn's persistent belief that we could indeed break the silence for deaf and hard of hearing New Mexicans.
Carl has brought something very special to Albuquerque in New Mexico and the southwest area of the country.
The most unique thing about Dr. Horn is his persistence and his compassion. And if it wasn't for both of those qualities, this school would not exist today.
I think he's one of our unsung heroes in our community here.
Dr. Horn, however, knew he could never achieve this alone and could not say enough about the incredible team and experts who shared his passion.
What I do is sort of the easy part. I spend an hour or two in the operating room putting the device in, and then everyone else spends, many hundreds of hours educating these children. I mean, I've been fortunate to have been able to work with just a great group of people that make me look pretty good.
The people at the Ear Institute really care about the mission, and they're really determined to really help the children in New Mexico learn to talk.
I spent all my years learning how to keep children quiet. Now I had to turn around and learn how to help children talk.
This place is just awesome.
We all recognize, though, that none of this would be possible without the generous donation of time, moral, and financial support we have received from the community.
I'm never disappointed in the remarkable way people will find to help the Ear Institute.
While the program is an expensive program, in the scheme of things, it saves everyone about $1 million a child in the long run.
While a 20-year anniversary is a great time to look back and celebrate our achievements, we recognize that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. Our current goals are demanding, but every single person at PEI is confident and committed to realizing all of them and more. It's a confidence that is firmly rooted in what has made us successful thus far. Our passion and commitment, the skills and experience of our team, and the too good to be true community that supports us.
In spite of how good I think we are now, we have a lot of room to continue to grow and change and become bigger and better, and to provide other services as well.
I suspect the next 20 years might be more exciting than the last. So, Doctor, hold on to your hat. The next 20 years are right in front of you. I hope everybody watching this video understands that you alone and your staff cannot pull this off. It's a concerted effort of people in our community who support you and encourage you to continue to break barriers.